Hello. I learned the Krebs cycle through Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a great resource to learn different topics throughout education, and I found Khan Academy very successful in doing so. The Khan Academy video lasted approximately 10 minutes, going through the different steps of the process. I found this way of learning very well. So my initial thoughts were breaking up each section into an image. So this is minutes 0 to 130, 130 to 4 minutes, 4 minutes to 6 minutes. And these are the different areas he talked about within this space of time. And I thought instead of having a zoomed in photo, you have the whole thing and you see the breakdown of the video. So it's kind of like a note. If you're watching the video, it's like a notes, it's basically your notes off the video. 4 to 7:30, this is when he actually talks about the actual cycle, and then talks about the different NADs and FADs. This is 7:30 to 9:30. This is 9:30 to 10, and then 10 to 12 minutes, and 12 minutes to 14 minutes, and 14 minutes to 15:30. And now this is this video over, and you have this reference point to go back. And I thought, instead of me making my own platform at the start, I would have this platform to work upon, because it was such a valued learning method for myself. I thought others could learn from it as well. Because one of the key things I find about learning is if people, there's loads of things out there that can help you, but just most people don't know where those things are located. So if I can show people where these resources are, I think that's a brilliant learning curve within itself. Anyway, moving on, I also had the idea concept of incorporating the Big Bang Theory to the actual poster itself. And my reason behind this was it is going to be a cycle at the end of the day. So the best way to jazz up would maybe be just putting a brand identity upon that of a comic that most scientists and even non-scientists are very aware of, and that is the Big Bang Theory. And I just thought this was an idea. This is clearly just a really rough concept, but it could have been developed upon. But my main idea was scientists and people on CSI and mathematicians work on glass panes. And basically, within these glass panes, they draw out their ideas or draw out one layer of a diagram, and they get another glass sheet behind this board, and would do the other part of the equation or whatever, and then they would have all these different panes of glass, and then that's how they kind of work out answers and try to find solutions to problems. So I thought this here was maybe a good wee idea to look into. So I did just that, and I was kind of thinking of an idea of acetate paper. So you have your layers of acetate paper, and upon basically working like glass, so when these elements of acetate paper are put on top of each other, the actual diagram itself of the Krebs cycle could be broken apart. So you learn each pane of glass, i.e. acetate paper, and when you learn each layer, it's easier to break down, and it's easier to maintain in your head. Even wee simple things of simplifying diagrams that are already out there. This is one of the diagrams that most people are actually learning from, and it is informative, but there's a lot of information there too if you don't need to know all this information. So I wanted to go along the route of minimalization and taking away all the unrelative stuff that really doesn't need to be there, and even just from saying that to this, like, that's a lot more. There's still a lot of information there, but you know that it's more easily accessible than this here, because clutter in your area can kill a user off straight away. So that was one of my options. My other thing to develop that even further was taking away the actual words. This introduces gamification. entices the user to figure out what's actually in these missing spaces. And from looking at this diagram and then working off this and bouncing between the two, this would be a good way of learning through play and through the actual theory of gamification. And I just thought the minimalization and the gamification work very well alongside each other. And my other idea was basically I've got an interaction design background, and I was considering maybe developing a app prototype all about the Krebs cycle and the different stages you go through, and then involve the whole gamification kind of area to that. It's not an area I think that would work best for this project, but the reason I'm just saying this out loud is to tell you my background as interaction design, and if you felt that designing an app or some sort of mobile phone platform device, I could do so. Thank you for listening, and thank you.